Hey, what's happening? It's the Rick. I'm here to tell you about my new album, Oh So Very Much. And I really mean that. The way that I went about writing the songs for this record is from the drums. You know, I grew up listening to all kinds of music, and the stuff that I like, I would imagine playing behind my drum kit. That's how I taught myself how to play the drums. So I did that approach with pretty much every song on this record, where I sit behind the drums and imagine playing a song. I would come up with an intro, verses, choruses, bridges, outros, you know, first and second endings and whatnot, codas, just things that sounded like music. But I had no idea what the music was going to do, or what I would sing, or harmonies, or any of that, melodies, nothing. I would just sit there and record track after track that sounded like a song. And I've been doing this for years. I think it's the way to go. This is how you play music instead of getting locked into licks and chops and all that. This is how you play compositions. Then later on, once I had all of these tracks, then I would add the music, like the bass, the guitars, the vocals, background vocals, and auxiliary tracks. The great thing about doing a record or writing music from the drums is you do not know what you're going to get. And it's always surprising. You're like, wow, I never imagined. It's like watching a new baby be born, and you don't know who it's going to favor, or the attitude, or anything, or the personality. It's the same thing. Whereas if I write from like the guitar, or some people write from piano, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's limited rhythmically, because the drums at that point, unless they have written percussion part into the actual composition, it's just timekeeping. It's basically a meter, and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, it's been great. It can embellish things, but that's just there as taking the role of timekeeping, you know. And it's up to the drummer to determine what kind of a feel that song is going to have. And I can go into this like on a drum clinic forever, but I really want to put out that that's when I was having a good time behind the drums, acting like I was writing songs, adding music later, and being completely surprised. Some of the stuff that I loved, some of the stuff I hated, some of the stuff I thought was goofy. That's kind of how I feel about the record, but you know, I did my best, and I wrote a lot of songs. The music was written between 2019 and as recent as May 2024. So as we all know, the whole world went through the COVID lockdown before and after, during and after. And I didn't have that, you know, I didn't want that to be the theme of the record, although that's what I was doing at the time. Casually, I'd be right down here in my studio and just thrilled to make a song or make a part or something that I wanted to work on. So I have in my spare closet a lot of stuff, because I probably worked on about 40 tracks, and then I narrowed it down to my favorite ones so that I could release something. I said, hey, I think I have enough to make a record. Records weren't that long when I was coming up. They're like 38, 35 minutes long, because that's what an LP stands for, long play, right? So an album can hold about 34, 35, 38 minutes of music. You know, I think Van Halen's Fair Warning, it's like 37 minutes. And then there would be double albums, like Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life, and double albums were always great. So now we can make a record. When the CDs came out, you could make an album as long as 70 minutes or something like that. People just started dumping a lot of tracks. I wanted something long enough to tell a story. I like to tell stories, and the lyrical content on this album ranges from all the things that were happening in my life at the time, all the ups and downs and stressors that were going on, and relationships, and I always talk about the good Lord in these songs, and the relationship that I think I have with Jesus, and it sounds much like a love story. It sounds like at times I may be singing to a woman or something, but actually I'm having a conversation with him. So some of the songs are about that, some of the songs are about my failures, and a lot of the songs are about just what's happening in life, culture, things like that. So that would take a different video. But that's what I like about storytelling, is you can use words and lyrics and a landscape. The other day, I was talking to a friend of mine about making video for some of these songs, and this cat I made a video with me playing all the instruments, you know, standing in one place, and he was like that, and I was like, no, I want to make videos. Like when we came up, the video would give the song, the music, another landscape. It's storytelling is what it's all about, you know, and some other things. So I should have written it down, but I wasn't trying to make a record. I was just recording tunes. I didn't know it was going to be all of this, and then later on, this is what happened. So I was going to do some, you know, album fades and stuff on the songs, and I just forgot there were other things I was going to put on this record, but it just didn't sound. It sounded too contrived, you know. Too pretentious. I didn't want that. I just wanted some natural record that sounded like what I was going through and how I was living at the time, you know. Whether I was being unhealthy or healthy, or a lot of stuff happened during the recording of these songs, and it's all captured on the record. The good, the bad, the ugly. Anyway, I hope you dig Oh So Very Much. That title means a lot to me, about a lot of things. And I had fun doing the whole record, so I hope it sounds like that. Enjoy!